This week, there were two libraries from China that were released, open source. One is a problem solver that's very powerful, and another one is a large language model that's equal, and in some cases exceeds the one from Meta, with which they use every day. It's called Llama 3, 400 billion. I was shocked when I read this, because I had assumed that in my conversation with the Chinese, that they were 2 to 3 years late. It looks to me like it's within a year now. To be fair to say, it's the US and then China within a year's time. Everyone else is well behind. Now, I'm not suggesting that China will launch a rogue attack against an American city. I am alleging that it's possible that a third party could steal from China, because it's open source, or from the US, if they're malevolent, and do that. So the threat escalation matrix goes up with every improvement. There's lots of evidence that there's now a problem with young men. In many cases, the path to success for young men has been, shall we say, really made more difficult because they're not as educated as the women are now. Remember, there are more women in college than men, and many of the traditional paths are no longer as available. And so they turn to the online world for enjoyment and sustenance, but also because of the social media algorithms, they find like-minded people who ultimately radicalize them, either in a horrific way like terrorism, or in the kind of way that you're describing, where they're just maladjusted. This is a good example of an unexpected problem of existing technology. So now imagine that the AI girlfriend or boyfriend, well, let's use AI girlfriend as an example, is perfect visually, perfect emotionally. And the AI girlfriend, in this case, captures your mind as a man to the point where she, or whatever it is, takes over the way you think. You're obsessed with her. That kind of obsession is possible, especially for people who are not fully formed. Parents are going to have to be more involved for all the obvious reasons. But at the end of the day, parents can only control what their sons and daughters are doing within reason. We've ended up, again, using teenagers as an example. We have all sorts of rules about age of maturity, 16, 18, what have you, 21 in some cases. And yet you put a 12 or 13-year-old in front of one of these things, and they have access to every evil as well as every good in the world, and they're not ready to take it. So I think the general question of, are you mature enough to handle it, sort of the general version of your AI girlfriend example, is unresolved.